This is my old neighborhood where my mom still lives. We used to play kickball out here, the neighborhood kids. This is the most level road. It's real hilly, and most of the roads here have a steep incline. But we would play kickball out here. The people behind me they were the only ones back then that had a fenced-in front yard, and if the ball went in there, he would not give it back to us. We had some confrontations. Anyway, just a little history. On the topic of religion, I'm going to have to break it down into several segments, of course. And here are some of the segments I've thought of. But if you have any suggestions or comments for other segments or this one, I welcome those. I do ask, and I'm going to have to warn anyone that needs this kind of warning. No question is out of bounds, but how you state the question is going to be important. No profanities, please. No rudeness. Questions are good. Mockery is not. There's a difference. You can ask a question because you sincerely want to know the answer. I'm all for that. If you're just asking questions to stir up strife, to mock me or others that post comments, I'm going to delete it. This is not the forum for it. You have your own channels. You want to create strife, go ahead. That's what is free. Go ahead. This, especially during the topic of religion, it can get heated. It should get heated, but it should never cross the line into belligerence and rudeness. I'm not having that. That's like if you walk in my house and want to spit on my floor, you need to get out. Not going to happen. And if spitting on the floor is okay in your home, do it at your place. That's fine. Not my place. And I believe everyone should have a safe haven to ask questions. It's sad that in the religious community, whether it's Christians or not, that people have to restrain themselves from asking things and really learning and delving into things, and people walk away from religions because questioning is not allowed. Nowhere in the Bible does God say check your brain at the door. There's things on faith, I agree, but like Gideon wasn't sure. He's like, God, if this is really you, I'm going to put this fleece out and I want you to, I can't remember if it was wet the fleece and leave everything else dry. And the next night he still wasn't sure and said, God, do the reverse. He was sincere. And maybe it was a little bit of, I really don't want to do this, I want to be sure you're calling me to do it type thing, but he was sincere. God does not mind that. God does, in many places in the Bible, talks against mockery. So, that being said, some of the topics will be our limited brains trying to understand a limitless God. What are God's limits, if he has any? Other one is, if God is love, how does he allow all these horrible things to happen in this world? And how can he send people to hell if he's love? The other one is true Christians. The Bible itself says the majority of people who call them Christians are not. How do you tell who's a true Christian? Other things, I find the 6 days of creation fascinating. Adam and Eve in the garden. The need, if God is holy and righteous, the need for a Savior, why Jesus is needed, why the faith in Jesus is needed. Those are topics that have definitely been put on, that I feel I have to discuss. And I'm sure there are many, many more, many that will come to mind as we go through this, and hopefully things that are suggested. Non-Christians and new Christians come up with questions that I never thought to ask because I've been so immersed in this culture that certain things never dawn on me to ask. So questions are good for, and anyone who shuts down questioning, there's something wrong there. Be warned. Be careful of those people that say, just take it on this. I went through that. I question things. I sadly can't just take things on blind faith. And that's just my personality, my being. And when I asked questions in this other church, I ran into a lot of trouble. But I kept it. and I was faithful because I knew that it was right. And some of the stuff did just cause strife. It really doesn't matter in the whole scheme of things, but it really showed me who I could trust and who I couldn't. And that's what everyone needs to learn. When you delve into something important, who do you believe? Who are you going to believe? Research, find out for yourself, ask questions. Does it make sense? Does it all fit in together? I used to think the Old Testament and New Testament were totally different, but God was the same. God never changed in the Old and the New Testament. The Old Testament's all about what God was going to do with saving the human race. And the New Testament's how He did it. So, anyway, I thought I'd just give a little preamble to the series that I want to do on religion, my religion, my faith, what I believe, and saying that I know that I have errors, that I am open to discussion, and I hope that it does get heated, but I hope that everyone minds their manners. Thank you.